We are here at DELFEST Xll with Marty O'Reilly, and Marty just played the music hall yesterday. And Marty, it's great meeting you. And tell us where you're from.
I'm from Santa Cruz, California.
How'd you get into the business? How did things start out with you musically as a kid? Like, how did you start playing at what age and stuff?
My parents bought me a guitar when I was about 15, and I fell in love with it, and started taking a lot of private lessons. And some of my teachers started teaching me not just about playing guitar but performing and doing shows. And I really fell in love with it, and pretty much knew from that point on that I was going to do this for a living. I went to college and studied other things, but I knew the whole time, like, this is what I wanted to do with my life.
You're real big into do a lot of songwriting, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you play with other bands before you started your own, as far as professionally? I
had like a duo project that I started with one of my teachers, actually. This guy, Sean Carskadden, he's a couple years older than me, and was, when he was giving me lessons, we were kind of figuring out, like, oh, we really enjoy, playing music together. And so it was Marty O'Reilly and Sean Carskadden, and those were sort of my first paying gigs. And then I kind of, drifted apart when I moved away to go to school.
How old were you when you started doing those gigs with your teacher?
Probably 19, something like that.
And so what happened after you guys kind of parted?
Well, I moved down to Santa Cruz to go to school, and I met the folks that I started my current band with. My fiddle player was sort of my boss at an internship that I did at a state beach in Santa Cruz, and we started the band with a bass player that he knew, and it was the three of us: upright bass, violin, and myself on guitar and vocals. And then drums joined the band about a year later, and then bass player switched. I have a new bass player now, and we're kind of just trucking along doing our thing.
Right. So tell me about the songwriting process. Are you always writing songs, or do you just write songs when you have a new album out?
I guess it's a little bit of both. I mean, I wish I was like always writing songs. Sometimes I feel like it's like totally at my whim to do whenever I want, and then other times I realize that I can't do it at that point in time, no matter how much I might want to, and that's frustrating and interesting. So yeah. It changes over time too. So as my career progresses, I find that the schedule that I do things with is often more dictated by where I'm at in my career. So now it's a little bit more album cycle like.
Right.
So write the songs, record the album, tour the album, promote the album, and then start all over again. Whereas before it was more of a just songs happening as they would, maybe one or two a month in a good moment. But now there's a little bit more of a schedule to it.
How many albums do you have out?
I have 2 full lengths and an EP, and I'm working on what will either be the next full length or the next 2 EPs, trying to decide how to do it.
So when did you get invited to come to Del? Are you familiar with DELFEST?
I wasn't beforehand. We're playing a festival in California this summer called High Sierra.
Sure.
And it's presented by the same people.
Sure.
And so they booked us for that festival, and then they sort of packaged us in to do this as well.
Nice. You having a good time here?
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty cool scene.
Yeah, so we had to fly out here to do this, and we decided since we were already on the East Coast, we might as well move around and hit some East Coast cities. So we were doing that all week, and we ended up here, and it's nice to kind of just have a little time to stay in one place and enjoy some music, because we've been going pretty hard all week,
Yeah. How is the process of writing songs and producing the songs, like putting it together, has that changed much as the albums keep coming out?
Yeah, it has. I think when I started this project, it was really me being like, my band was really just supporting me in the songs that I had written, and I don't know, I don't like the idea of having of my band members not having a voice in things. So over time, there's been more and more of a voice that belongs to the band and the creative process. And I still feel like I pretty much do the songwriting, but there's a lot of like arranging that we do together of deciding, this part should be longer or shorter, this should be different in this way, and it's really just sort of deciding what to do with my initial musical ideas and lyrical ideas.
Nice. Is Santa Cruz still your home base?
Yeah.
Right. So any plans to move on out to one of the music cities?
Definitely not one of the music cities, like LA or Nashville. Those are the hardest places to survive as a musician. Yeah, because there's just everybody's trying to do it, so it's terribly oversaturated, and you kind of it's kind of like playing the lottery a little bit. It works out really well for some people. I think you're better suited to make a move like that if you have things cooking for you in the industry and relationships that already exist. But just kind of moving down there blind and like thinking that that's how it works out. I try to encourage my peers not to do that, because I've seen it present a lot of artists that I care about with a lot of challenges. At the end of the day, I find the most important thing is like, where do you live in relation to everything else? Because you want to do this for a living. You're going to be moving around a lot.
You're on the road most of the time.
Yeah. So how close are you to? How many major cities are you close to?
Right, yeah.
That sort of thing. And Santa Cruz is pretty ideally located. I'm right smack dab in the central coast of California.
Pretty beautiful.
Yeah,
pretty beautiful,
definitely.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
So what's the future? What are you putting out the albums? You're touring and just repeat and keep doing it.
Yeah, I guess right now I'm in a phase of like trying to answer that question for myself, because usually those things are like really obvious and readily apparent, and then there's sort of a time period before that. It just kind of shows up all of a sudden for me, I find. And I feel like I'm still kind of in the wake of my last album. I just released it a year ago, and I'm feel like I'm just in the finishing stages of digesting like that whole experience musically and in terms of performance. And now it's like I'm just starting, we've been trying to keep a schedule of having the next album coming, but I'm kind of just arriving at the point with myself of being like, okay, now I'm ready. Like now I'm starting to ask myself, what's next? What do I feel like doing? What do I feel like doing that's the same? What's different? And it's kind of a fun phase, It's like it's very introspective, and like you just got to make sure you're thinking about it a lot.
Were you familiar with many of the bands that are here?
Actually, no.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of fun, because I usually don't find that like being super familiar with the lineup always necessarily means I'm excited about it. But I don't know the lineup, and it's a festival this size, like I'm kind of excited to be like, oh, okay, well, I'll just wander around and see what I find, and it's enjoyable just to come upon things and not be worried about, seeing this name that just going around, see which music is pulling you towards it as you wander around the festival.
Oh, nice. So where's the next gigs that you have?
Well, we're flying home after this one, and then I'm doing a secret show in San Francisco on Wednesday, because we have like a big formal show in June. And then our friend said, hey, come play this show with us. And he said, we can't announce it, we can do it in secret. So we're doing this little show in San Francisco at John Lee Hooker's old club called the Boom Boom Room. It's right next to Fillmore. And that'll be kind of like a fun, really informal show. And then we're doing a big hometown show in Santa Cruz at the Catalyst on the 31st of May. And then just, a handful of festivals over the summer. I'm getting married in like 2 weeks.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's something to help the tour move right along.
Yeah, right.
Well, so how do we find you on social media?
Most things are just under my name, Marty O'Reilly. You can look it up on Facebook or Instagram or MartyO'Reilly.com or on Spotify, YouTube, all those things.
All right. Well, on behalf of everyone at DELFEST, welcome.
Thank you.
And we look forward to hearing more and more of your stuff.
Right on.
All right. Take it easy. Thank you.